with that, we'll kick it to Coach with an opening statement.
All right. Thank you all for being here today. Really, it means a lot that you guys are here having interest in covering women's wrestling, because you are the messenger to get the news out there and spread all the good stuff about women's wrestling. And so thank you for being here today. Really an exciting year. NCAA championships season starts this Saturday. So it's official. It's recognized as a championship sport. And we're like the whole country across from USA Wrestling and all the institutions and NCAA institutions are excited for this growth of where we're at. And hopefully it just continues to add more and more NCAA institutions at the D1 level. Just really want to thank the efforts from the NCWWC and formerly the WCWA, and the people behind the scenes in their work in advancing women's wrestling and making it an emerging sport to a championship sport status. Exciting times, as the growth happens. The transition from NCWWC to NCAA is really, now we can only bring 10 to the national championships, right? Which is so many good things with the growth, but hard decisions along the way for our program, with 11 returning All-Americans and 2 of which are national champions. So really, they're battling every day in the room and just really earning their opportunity to hopefully be the one on the top of the podium come March 6, 7. We got 6 awesome freshmen that have been added to our program this year, and just really elevating our room in so many ways as far as challenging the room to be better each day. And they're just great people on and off the mat. I don't know. I think for us, our program is about for her. You hear that a lot from our program, and it really is about the people who help our women's wrestling grow. It's about you guys here today. It's about the ones that pave the way for us, and our women fight for that, for things bigger than themselves in that regards. And really, just happy to be here today, and I'll take your questions if you have any. And yeah.
Questions?
Nyla Valencia has been somebody that's kind of snake-bitten the last 2 off seasons with injury. Just curious, what have you seen from her this summer since getting back on the mat? What are your expectations and hopes for her this season? And just kind of what's the overall status of health in terms of the roster going into this year?
Yeah, really exciting time for Nyla, right? She's been off for 2 years, and as far as being sidelined and injured, but nothing has really changed for her in the sense of how she does business. Like when she's off the mat rehabbing, she's working her butt off to be ready to go. You saw it after her first injury. She came off of that and stormed through last chance Olympic qualifier and U20s and Olympic trials, right? So it's no different. Her return to mat, it's an exciting time. I'm excited for her opportunity to have her very first college season, which is so bizarre to say, and she is too, For us, it's like we want to make sure that we are smart with her return to mat and competition side of things, because a healthy Nyla is a dangerous Nyla. So we're very excited for her return and excited for y'all to get to see her compete soon. So.
What most impresses you about her on the mat and then off the mat?
Oh my gosh. Nyla is just excels and pours everything of herself into everything she does, whether it's her academics, whether it's her internships, like working in the lab and doing research, and just an amazing person, right? On the mat, she brings her teammates in, and they make each other better and is always there for her teammates. I couldn't say anything other than she excels and succeeds in anything she like puts herself into.
So you alluded to it in your opening statement, how the change to the NCAA is going to be really, really tough with the lineup decisions going down to 10 this year. How does that kind of change your season ahead when you make decisions on who's going to open tournaments, who's going to start in duels and things like that? I guess, does anything change, or how does that look for you guys in that kind of new era, I guess?
No, yeah, the great thing about where women's wrestling is we do have opportunities to go to open tournaments, like a lot of them, right? Like our schedule is primarily, like it's pretty half and half between duels and opens, but there's a lot of opens in there, so it does give a lot of our women opportunity to compete, right? And then when we do duels, it's not just a single duel, it's usually two, and then for her duels, there's 8 teams. So there'll be plenty of opportunities with our women to be able to compete. I think the harder thing is when it does come down to decision time, the great thing about our sport is you go earn it on the mat, right? You show your work and you go earn what you get, so.
You mentioned that freshman class for this year. What have you seen from them in practice that kind of excites you? And do they kind of remind you of last year's class where you had a few that were All-Americans?
Yeah. Yeah, no, they've jumped right in, and it really is, there's going to be battles at certain weight classes that we have from our freshmen. I'm trying to, yeah, I think our freshmen are, oh man, they're workers, we, in the sense of, there's some that, it's one of those things for coaches, like, which is harder to try to motivate and push someone to do more, or to try to like rein them back from doing too much, right? And there's a good handful of our freshmen that we have to say, okay, that's enough, right? So they're just so eager, and that's just so ingrained in who they are. They just are soaking up, like, just wanting to get better, so.
How have you seen Kylie continue to develop since she won the national title last season, and she just took gold a couple weeks ago? How have you seen her continue to develop and get stronger since she won her title?
Oh yeah, Kylie, she's still growing, and there's still areas of her to continue to work on, whether it's technically, tactically, mentally, emotionally, there's so much elements to the wrestling match that, as great as she is, winning college nationals, being on their senior world team, those challenges are shown a lot in more moments on the international stages, and then trying to create those challenges within the room, right? And working through those areas. And, she wants to continue to get better. She's not satisfied with just a college national championships or a senior world bronze medal or U23 gold medal. She wants that consistent, I want to be at the top, eyes on LA in 2028. Yeah, she's just one that loves wrestling so much that she wants to get better. So she's going to continue to grow and develop.
I don't think I even realized until after the season was done last year that she went through the entire year without conceding a point. Is that something that's something that's pretty much unheard of? I mean, how insane was that to you when you had heard that or even seen that?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like, I don't even know if she recognized that until it was done, right? Like, that's just how competitive she is, right? I mean, she conceded 4 points at the U23 World Championships. Pretty sure she's not happy about doing that either, like giving those points up. But I think she just goes out there and just executes what she does best, and that's just the result of it. So I don't think she goes in thinking, I don't want to get scored on, so yeah.
A little bit about the freshmen. What has the experience been like coaching Libby Dix, a multi-sport athlete who, she said she'd done freestyle once or twice before Fargo this summer. So what has that experience been like having her in the room full time?
Yeah, I think for Libby, it really is just about getting better and growing, and she's always has a smile on her face when she's wrestling. And so that's fun because it's like you can utilize her athleticism that she has from being in different sports. But I think that's the greater thing is that she chose wrestling over all the other multi-sports that, whether softball or track and field, and it really was, the love for the opportunity to continue to grow within wrestling and see where she can go from it.
So you've talked obviously a lot over the last couple of years about growing the sport of women's wrestling and things of that nature. Watching someone like Kennedy, where you go back to the Olympics, everyone wants to talk about the suplex that she had, and then you see a lot of girls who I think post and even tag her and be like, look, I did something similar.
Aww.
Is that something that you've kind of like seen as like a point of like what Kennedy's been able to do in being able to not only win but also do it in an exciting manner, being a good thing for women's wrestling, kind of growing the sport in that way?
Yeah, it brings, like you said, it brings excitement, right? It's like that wow factor. It's that element of like, holy cow, like someone just threw someone like over themselves onto their back, hopefully not head. And that's excites people to try to like execute that, right? So I think anytime you have someone who has the ability to spark interest in anyone, whether it's a young girl or just any other person, like doesn't matter age, gender, whatnot. Anytime you can get someone excited about women's wrestling, that's always a great thing.
One of the things we hear from Tom with the men's program, right, is they put together a really tough schedule every year, and then we look at your guys' schedule this year, and it's really similar, right? You guys parallel of how tough it is. Mm-hmm. What goes into your decision-making process when you're putting that together and bringing in all that high level of competition, all throughout the season?
Yeah, great question. It really is. It's all about challenging, like our team, everyone on our team, our program, throughout the season, right? We don't want to shy away from competition. We want to lean into it. We want to see what areas we can continue to work on so we're better prepared for March 6th, 7th, right? And it's a little bit, I think, about like the growth of the sport. You see that Oklahoma State's on the schedule, and I might get asked like, why would you schedule a club team? To me, it makes sense. It's Oklahoma State, and they've got great athletes on their student athletes on in their program, and so why wouldn't we challenge ourselves against a team like Oklahoma State? So, yeah, Missouri Valley Open is a beast of a open, and it's a nice one to kick off like the start of the season to kind of see where we're at. It doesn't. All of this is just preparation for it at the end, right? On March 6th, 7th, right? There's not too many competitions where there's back-to-back weigh-ins or back-to-back days where you have to weigh in. And we know that Nationals is a 2-day tournament, right? And the great thing is our women want to compete in that. They want to know where they're at the beginning of the season. And that's what I enjoy about this team is they want to continue to grow and learn. So,
what do you have to say about Kennedy Blades, also a national champion last year, very similar to Welker in terms of some of the accolades she's received?
Sorry, say it again.
Yeah, no worries. What do you have to say about Kennedy Blades, also returning national champion to the program, and very similar to Welker, but also different in terms of the honors she's earned recently?
Yeah, no, I mean, when I can have like 2 back-to-back like super power, like national champions, world medalists and, Olympic medalists, back-to-back on our lineup, that's always a great thing, and Kennedy brings a fun energy as far as the dynamic with the team when she's around, and she helps her teammates in other ways, so they both, Kylie and Kennedy, both push each other in the room we've had like match simulations the last few weeks, and it really was, you know, we put them together quite often to go against each other, and sometimes people are like, people will pay the price for admissions to come see them like scrap, right? So it really is, that's having them two in the room together only helps each other elevate, right? In a room, in an environment when they're continuously trying to get better, so.
It seems like there's always something new with the sport, new with your team each and every year. But speaking of your team, you have 2 new staff members after losing Hannah and Leandra this offseason. Just what has it been like integrating 2 new members to the coaching staff, to the overall staff as you get ready for the inaugural NCAA season?
Yeah, no, Brandy's been great. Love her. She's been so helpful for me, and she's getting like introduced to our team, and she's got great experience. So I can't I love this part of it, right? We have a new hire, Lillian. She hasn't officially started yet, so that will be a nice like addition to integrating a new person on staff. Gonna miss both. I do miss both Hannah and Leandra. You know, they've been so great for our program. Super grateful for the work that they've done and how they've moved our program forward. Yeah, with Lillian, it's gonna be a new move for her. She's not from Iowa, so it's introducing her everything Iowa when she gets on board. So that'll be fun. Really, it was work to get to where we are, you know. But in everything we do, we want to do things in the right way and make sure it's a right fit for everyone involved. And so we hope this is all a win-win situation for everyone.
Thank you. Sam will let you in at the wrestling room. If you want to follow Sam over.